Okay, so I got all of the plywood into the shop somehow. Good thing I cleaned and organized the other day. Actually made a nice run over to Rockwell today. Got some racks. I'll be able to start putting the wood up and starting to get vertical like I've been talking about instead of just having stuff on the floor here. So I should create more space for myself. But I got all the plywood into the shop. This is about as big as I can get. I mean, this is tight to begin with. So I'm gonna have to do all of this in sections, which I would have to do anyways, but I'm gonna have to complete one section, take it into the house, complete another section, take it in the house, complete it, take it in the house, and do everything that way. When it's really gonna get interesting is when I have to paint this stuff. My wife wants to have everything painted white. Happy wife, happy life. So I'm gonna stick with that motto for this. So let me show you kind of what I'm thinking here and the plan. I have it mocked up. I'm starting to learn SketchUp as well as doing the woodworking, learning all this, video editing, dealing with the sound, all that type of stuff. So I'm learning a whole bunch of skills that I've never had to deal with before. I think I have a decent drawing, at least I know what I'm drawing, and I'll show you guys here. So work with me here. Okay, so I'm going to have it into three pieces. I'm going to have it, like I said, I'm going to have a left side, a right side, and then a front side. The front side is going to be roughly 66 inches wide by 18 inches deep by 13 and a half inches tall. The left and right sides are going to be identical. Those are going to be 72 inches long, 18 inches deep, and 13 and a half inches deep as well, or excuse me, 13 and a half inches tall as well. I'm only going to need one of those front sections. I need 11 of those vertical stanchions to go in there. Those are all going to be 12 by 18. And that should more or less be the final dimensions. Overall, I think I want everything to be, at the end of the day, it's going to be roughly 90 inches long by about 66 inches wide by 90 inches long. I'm working with a full-size bed, and I still, as you can see in the CAD, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with that middle gap. I do not want to use a box frame on this. It would just make this so tall, especially for a 5-year-old. So I may just put a solid sheet of plywood in the middle there and have it all be level that way and just go straight mattress to the frame of what I'm working on. So I'm going to do the left and right sides first. So I'm going to cut the big sections, the pieces which are 72 inches long by 18 inches wide. And then get those cut down. I'm gonna do rough cuts on that because eventually or inevitably I want to do that on the table saw to get everything down to final size. So I'm going to probably do like 18 and a half inch cuts, knowing that I'm going to come in and get the final 18-inch cut there. So I'm going to do 4 of those to start with here. Cut those, set those off to the sides, and then come with the front pieces, which will be 66 inches long, and those will also be 18 inches deep. So I can have all of those cut, and then when I need to make the 18-inch cuts, I can run those all through the table saw at the same time. And then the final cuts I should be doing will be the vertical stanchions in there. And again, those are going to be 12 by 18, and I need to do 11 of those. So first things first, I'm going to cut the long pieces. I've got a makeshift bench, which you saw me kind of put together. I've got a piece of ply on top of 2 horses, along with some 2x4s, keeping everything level. I've got some foam insulation on top of the makeshift bench, and then the ply that I'm actually going to be cutting is going to be on here. I'm going to cut right into the foam because it's sacrificial anyways. That's what it's there for. And I'm going to start making my rip cuts using a circular saw, and then I've got the Craig jig, which I'll be showing you guys here. So this will be interesting, especially with tight quarters here and trying to find good camera angles for you guys instead of just being here and having the camera vibrate, which is what I'm afraid of right now. So I'm going to see where I can move you guys. So. Okay, so I just finished cutting the left, right, and front tops and bottoms of the cabinets. That's what you're seeing behind me here. I'm left over with 3 sheets of material that are 11 inches wide. Unfortunately, I can't use that for my vertical dividers because I want them 12 inches tall and 18 inches deep. Could I sacrifice an inch to get that all in there? Probably. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out one more board here and lay it out and make sure that I can get the dimensions that I want on that. If I can get the dimensions on that, I'm going to put these 11-inch wide pieces off to the side, and I may turn those into the pieces that fill the gap between the left and right side, so I have a solid surface for the mattress to sit on. The other thing I can do with these pieces as well, because I haven't thought this one out yet, is what am I going to do for a headboard? I want to sit down with my wife and figure out what she wants as a headboard. Does she want it simple? Does she want it modern? Blah, blah, blah. But for now, I can at least get the drawers and cabinet pieces set up. And then get the headboard figured out as I'm moving here. So next step here is going to be figuring out those vertical dividers. I think I should be able to get them all out of one sheet of plywood, which is what I've ultimately been hoping for, which will leave me with one spare 4 foot by 8 foot by 3/4 piece. And then I've got 2 pieces of 1/2-inch ply as well that I want to use for the actual drawers. These 11-inch pieces may become center, they may become faces for the drawers. I don't know yet. That's TBD right now at this moment. So again, just trying to kind of take you through my thought process here. To be honest, this is about my 3rd take on this particular monologue here. And talking through this process really helps me out personally. So you get to deal with it, but it helps me figure out what I want to do here. So I'm going to put you guys probably at a different angle here so you're not up vertical on me. And I'm going to start drawing out and see how many 12-inch pieces, 12 by 18 pieces I can get out of this. I'm looking at this, I'm 99% confident I can get this all out of one sheet. So that's good news. Okay, so I've got all of my pieces cut to final width here. I've got 2, 4, 6. I've got 8 of them total here, so that makes sense. I had them all to my 18-inch width. I am not going to show a video of that. I am not a fan of how I had to cut that, so I don't want to be promoting that or showing that. Needless to say, I need to either get a track that I can run my circular saw through, or I think even the most convenient thing would be to get a feather board for the table saw. The feather board that I have fits into the track that I have on the table, but it doesn't grip any of it. So if I were to push anything through it, the feather board would just be coming along with it. So had to make a couple uncomfortable cuts. Not happy with it. I lucked out. Everything came out well, but I'm gonna search for a better solution, and that's why I'm not going to show video of me cutting these down to final dimensions. So now that I have those cut to final width, I need to get final lengths on them, and then 2 of these as well. I need to start cutting my 12-inch boards out of as well. So I'm going to do 12 inches tall by 18 inches deep on these, on all of the boxes and all the little cubbies. That's what I'm going to be working with. So. Okay, so to this point, this whole project's been a really big learning experience. You should have just seen me finish up the vertical stanchions or vertical separators. They are 12 inches tall, 17.25 inches deep. I got down to 7 3/4 and then realized that the width on the faces that I'm going to put on there is probably going to be 3/4 of an inch. So let's go to 17.25 on there. So that way when drawers close, they close flush with the horizontal or the long sections of the boards here. So I think next step here is getting the long boards down to final length. Once I have those down to final length, then it's going to be time to start going vertical and start getting everything glued together. I'm going to work on the long runs first, so I'm going to do left or right side, finish those 2, and then I'll go to the short cabinet in the front. So that's going to be next steps. Okay, so I have all 3 cabinets wrapped up here. The one in the back here, I did the edges with some plastic wood filler or wood filler. It didn't go on as smoothly as I would have liked. I think it will work in the long run. I'm trying to mask the edges here so when I paint, you won't see those individual edges come through. And then was filling screw holes as well, but I don't know if it's how I applied the wood filler or if it's an older container. It's a couple months old. I used it a while back to fill a couple edges on a different project. It's been closed ever since, but it just kind of was flaky. I don't know if that's a good way to put it or not, but I've spent the last couple hours doing some minor research here and found that spackle also works. So I'm gonna try some spackle on this one. If all goes well, I've got the other one on the corner here that I still have to do. I'm gonna see how these go and compare. If the wood filler does better, then I'll do wood filler on that one. If the spackle does better, I'll do spackle on that one. Either way, I think they both will work. I think in the long run though, maybe the spackle might be easier to sand, not sure. But I'm gonna give that a try on this and see how that goes. So that's gonna be next step here.
Yeah, you did that one already. Business takes precedent about every 5 or 10 years at this time. And spent 30 years because we had a last fight in 94, 95, which was all. I thought it was the last fight, and I think I should have been correct, but the two sides won't agree on even that. There should never have been that cataclysm in 94, which was when the elders decided to see if they could break the union, but they would break that.
Okay, so I just finished putting the spackle on the one board. The board with the wood filler is still drying up. It's getting close to being able to sand that. I really liked working with the spackle a lot better than working with the wood filler. It was a lot thinner, a lot easier to work with, and I think I was able to get it into the pores of the plywood a little bit better. I hope it sands as smooth as I have seen it go in the past doing drywall before. If that's the case, that's probably the way I'll do this in the future to get rid of those plywood edges. I've got no complaints. It just went on so smooth, so easily compared to the wood filler, which was just kind of flaky putting on, where the spackle stayed together a lot better. So I don't know if that's just the wood filler is older or the plastic wood is older, but the spackle went on a lot easier, a lot smoother. So if this works out well, sands well, I'm just going to stick with that. So that's my review. Okay. Okay, so for the purposes of this video, I'm going to call this part of the video done. I've been editing this on the side, and I've already run fairly long just on this section here. I've done 2 coats of paints on this right now. What you're going to see after this is it's going to be the finished product up in the bedroom where it's inevitably going to be going. I'm going to have 2 follow-up videos to go along with this. One video is going to be just building and installing the drawers, because I've never done that before, so I want to do that separately because that's going to take a good amount of time. And then the third video is going to be the headboard, which I'm hoping will be kind of a short and sweet video. I have a general idea what I want to do with it already. I've got the tongue and groove boards, everything with that. So this is going to be a 3-part series. And for the purposes of the rest of this video, I'm going to call it quits now. Baby, what do you think?
Much more comfier.
You like that? Yeah?
What should we put in these?
I don't know, we'll have to see. So, the build is done, the video is done, the daughter's super happy, and I'm happy with the design choices that I made. As I was putting it together, I was getting a little panicky, but real happy with how everything came out. Let me kind of show you here real quick. So I had probably a 6-inch gap on each side here from where the mattress is to where the edge of this is. Again, my daughter is 4 years old, wanted to give her a step so she can step up and on into the bed. And then actually where I'm sitting right now, I wanted to leave this exposed so it can work as a bench. She's getting shoes on in the morning, she can get dressed here comfortably. Especially with the bed being so elevated, I wanted to give her something lower to the ground that suits her a little bit better. Other than that, real happy with how this build went. It definitely stretched the capabilities of me. And stretch the capabilities of that tiny shop, but end of the day, I can't argue. Everything came out nicely, and it looks good. I had my doubts as we were bringing things in, but now that it's assembled and actually in its final location, I'm real happy. So had a real fun time doing this, and look forward to doing more projects. I have 2 ancillary videos to this one as well. There should be shorter videos. I have a video on how I built the drawers and installed the drawer slides and the drawers themselves. And then the third video, or the second of the ancillary videos, is actually the headboard and how I put that together. The main build video, putting the cabinets together, trying to squeeze all of that and condense it down into one video just didn't work. At least the way I film and edit, it didn't work for me, so I wanted to do ancillary and just accessory videos for this. But you'll notice I'm putting this final reveal in the first video, so if you do want to go the other, see how I did the drawers and did the headboard, please go to those. Otherwise, this is the final product. I thank you guys for taking the time to, if you've made it this far, I really appreciate you taking the time to make it this far in the video. And would love you guys to leave likes, dislikes, comments, everything below, subscribe for more. And let me know what you think about the other videos I have going on. I do a lot of cutting boards, but I'm trying to do some more stuff like this. So I have some bigger projects in mind that I'm gonna kind of dabble in there as well, along with cutting boards. So I'm gonna keep going at it, and hope this helped someone out there. And again, thanks guys, like always. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Later.